Niecy Nash-Betts. You play Isabel Wilkerson's cousin Marion in the film Origin,
Yes.
about how different oppressions are connected across the globe. Now, first off, were you familiar with Wilkerson's work and ideas before taking this role?
You know what? I was not familiar. And when Ava called, I was working a full-time job. I was leading a show on ABC. And I was like, whoa, this is a lot to unpack. You know what I mean? In the middle of working that job. And she said, well, I wrote this role for you. I had you in mind, and but I'm sad because I know you're not going to be able to do it because of your job. So I said, as a good friend, well, let me try to help you think of someone else who can do it. I sent her a list of names. She said no to everyone. She said, I only see you. And I said, well, we're going to have to get creative and see if we can get this figured out. And you know what I mean? The filming gods came through. And I had a very, very impacted schedule though. So I was working Monday through Friday in LA, and I would fly out 2 flights to Savannah, work for her, and then fly back to my job. And so it was hard because I didn't have time off. But once I read the work, I knew how necessary it was, especially for such a time as this.
And what did you think about it when you read it? Like, what impact did it have on you?
I feel like it's a delicious invitation to think differently about the construct of race as we have come to know it.
And it's a very interesting style of film. It's not only about the work, but it's also about Isabel's personal experiences and the tragedies that she experiences over the course of doing this work. What did you think about that combination? Of telling the story in that way?
Oh wow! I love that Ava used that as an entry point. You know what I mean? So it's a story about love and loss and pain and grief, but also at the same time unpacking this whole idea of caste. And I just thought it was very, very creative and very well done.
And what kind of preparation did you do to play Marion?
Well, when I understood how she fit into Isabel's life, immediately I picked up the phone and I called Anjanou and began providing provision for the vision, covering her, protecting her, wanting to make sure, she was okay, that she had what she needed, the things that you would do if you were related to someone. And you say, oh, I deeply care for this person. So it started before I ever even got to Savannah to film with her. And then it was interesting because Ava said, I want you to bring lightness to this film. I said, this film? Light where? She was like, well, that's the point. We need it. And I was like, oh, okay. And so it really became rooted in Ava trusting me, because I said, if that is what you want, it's not on the page. So I have to find it. You know what I mean? And she allowed me to do so. Just to kind of not only bring lightness, but to be kind of that everyman's voice. What is it about? Say it again. Can you make it plain? That kind of thing that maybe the audience might be thinking while they're watching it.
And you mentioned Anjanou, Ellis Taylor, who you're working with, who also appeared with you in When They See Us.
When They See Us, yeah.
Also by
we
Ava.
were mortal. We were mortal enemies in When They See Us, and now we get to love each other in this film.
Yeah, how was that getting to kind of interact in that very different way?
Oh, I loved it. I'm a lover by nature. So anytime I get to infuse some of that in my work, I love it a lot.
And what is your collaboration with Ava DuVernay like now that you've gotten to work with her multiple times?
You know, I understand her. She is very particular. She wants things a certain way. I respect it. This is the only time we've ever worked together. We worked together 3 times now. This is the only time where we ever had a challenge. And believe it or not, it was over my wigs in the movie. I call it wig gate. She was not a fan. And I'm like, oh, what? You know what I mean? Spoiler alert. I'm like, I'm dying in this movie. Let me wear the wig I like, but she is very, very generous. And she has this way of making you feel like you're her favorite until you see her with somebody else. And you're like, wait a minute.
And you're telling the story of Isabel Wilkerson. Did she have a participation in the film, or were you able to talk to her, meet her?
I was not able to talk with her or to meet her, and I know that Ava did. And she really gave Ava her blessing and said, "You take this and make it, the narrative," and you know what I mean. And she stepped back. So there was a lot of creative freedom that Ava was able to bring to the project.
And you do bring lightness to this role, but it is a dramatic role. And earlier in your career, you were known so much for comedy, and now
Yes.
we've been getting to see you more and more. Your range as an actress. How has that been? Kind of being seen more as a dramatic actress in recent years.
To be honest with you, it brings tears to my eyes a little bit because I think it's always nice when people see you how you see yourself. And I know for a long time my peers in the industry thought I was a one-trick pony. Like, oh, we know what she does. We've seen Reno 911. We've seen the broad comedies. You know what I mean? We know what you can do. And now through my work on Getting On and Dahmer and in this film Origin, I think that people now see me like I see myself. I can do all the things.
And which do you think comes more naturally to you, or they both present their own unique challenges?
Oh wow. I was born funny. So that part is kind of innate. Um, I love them both, but you know, wow, that's a hard question. Maybe the drama side is a was harder in the beginning, but I feel very flat-footed now.
Well, they say dying is easy, comedy is hard, and
Well, I
now
mean,
you've done both on screen, so.
yes.
What do you most hope to capture in Marion, in addition to the lightness you bring to the role?
Like I said, I just really wanted her to be every man. You know what I mean? I wanted her to want to understand what Isabel was trying to communicate. And also be that support system, for Ingenue's character in the film.
And what do you hope audiences take from this film? It's such an emotional experience in so many different ways.
Oh, what do I hope they take away? I just honestly hope that um that they unlearn some things that we have always been told, some diehard truths that this is this and that's the way it is. Because this film shows you that maybe we didn't think this all the way through. And maybe there's more meat on the bone. You know what I mean? And I just hope that they go out into the world a little kinder, understanding that we have all been through a lot. You know what I mean? And you don't have a patent or a right on suffering. You understand? Like, all of these different groups of people are all going through something, and I hope people walk away with a little bit more compassion tucked in.
And you mentioned Dahmer, and now that the strikes are over, you're an Emmy nominee for that role. We'll finally get to celebrate that in January. Are you looking forward to that?
Oh man, I've been looking forward to it for a long time now. So I'm happy we finally got it back on the books, and it should be a great night.
Have you written a speech, in the event that you win, or you just kind of go with what you're feeling at the moment?
It's probably better for me to have something in mind to say. Because if I freestyle it, I'm gonna probably think God, Ava, and Oprah. And people are, they're like, what do they have to do with this movie? I don't know. So I don't know if I will be off the cuff, but I think I will prepare something in my mind, have a little roadmap. But you always got to leave room for magic in every area of your life.
And now that you've shown that you can show so many different sides of your talent and your acting, like, do you foresee like a balance of comedy and drama in your future, or do you want to pursue more drama at this stage?
No, because I don't want people to forget that I'm funny. You know what I mean? I've done Dahmer, I've done Origin, I've done When They See Us. I'm like, where's my comedy? Where's my rom-com? You know what I mean? I don't want them to forget that, but I love it because I can literally do both, and I can execute it well. And make sure, you know what I mean, that whoever is hiring me I want to ensure their happiness. So I work really hard at it. So as long I would love to be able to stay in a space where I could do both.
And you had another memorable award show moment when Ryan Murphy shouted you out as he was accepting an award, and it was so moving when he went to his collaborators and said how much they meant to him. What was that moment like?
Oh my God, I had no idea Ryan was going to say that. And, and I was just trying to blink back the tears because I didn't want my fake eyelashes to fall off. Right there at the table, the camera was right on me. I said, oh Lord, I'm not going to make it. But it was so loving and so kind. I've known Ryan for many, many years. And he spoke at my star ceremony on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So we've known each other for many years, but I had no idea he was going to say those words about me. And I felt very, very blessed.
And having worked with him multiple times and Ava multiple times, what is it about a creator or a filmmaker or a writer, collaborator that makes you want to work with them multiple times?
Oh, let me tell you something. Their vision. And when you see what happens from the page to the screen, big or small, you just lean in. You know what I mean? When I'm reading it, I already know. I'm like, oh. And so people like Ava and Ryan will always have me at hello. You know what I mean? Even with Dahmer, Ryan called and was like, I've got this thing I want you to do. And I said, okay. And I said yes before I even knew what it was. And then when I found out what it was, I said, Zoinks. I was like, uh-oh, but I had already said yes because that's my truth. When they call, I figure it out.
Congratulations on having figured this one out. I think
Thank
you
you.
did an excellent job. And thank you so much for talking with me about your work. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.